Welcome to Comedy MX's Cartoon Classics channel. Binge out on the animated Superman, Popeye, Bugs Bunny and Friends, Technicolor classic tunes, animators UB Iwerks and Max Fleischer, Mickey Mouse, Betty Boop, and all your cartoon favorites. Animate your everyday at Cartoon Classics channel. So return with us now to those golden days of yesteryear.
Our scene opens today on the outskirts of Foggy Bog, Wisconsin, where, as usual, our heroes are in dire financial straits.
Also broke.
What's for supper, Fillmore?
We're down to eating bean, Waldo.
You mean beans, Flogmore?
No, I mean bean. We got just one left.
Gee, what are we gonna do with one bean?
We share and share alike, Hoppity. Cut it 3 ways, Fenster.
Fillmore.
I'll take the big third.
Okay.
Oh, grab it! Grab it!
It's gone.
That's the first time I ever had a dinner disappear through a crack in the floor.
Well, I guess that does it, Uncle Waldo. Somebody's gonna have to go out and find it.
Don't say it, Hoppity, not while I'm eating.
But you're not eating, and neither is anybody else. One of us has to get a job and go to work.
Oh.
What happened to him?
He always comes all over queasy when he hears that word, Hoppity.
Where am I?
What word?
Work.
Oh.
Nevertheless, the next morning our friends were lined up inside the Foggy Bog Employment Center.
All right. What do you do?
Mostly I hop up and down and I croak.
You're a beetle?
No, I'm a frog. I have my own television program.
How are the ratings?
Here's the last ones.
You don't need a job. You need a transfusion. What about you? What was your last job?
Making sockets for buggy whips.
Well, nobody's used buggy whips for 40 years.
True, I was the first victim of automation.
Well, can't you do anything else?
Well, I'm a qualified dirigible captain.
Sorry. How about you?
I can't do nothing. I'm just a loyal, trustworthy, and not too bright.
You're also hired. See the man over there?
And in 5 minutes, Fillmore had an honest-to-Elizabeth job.
Gee, what a keen uniform. What do you do, Fillmore?
I guard the statue in the park.
Gee, that's an important job.
It was. For that statue in the park was Foggy Bog's only claim to fame. It was a monument to Colonel Oswald Clabber, founder of Wisconsin's cheese industry. And it was the only statue in the world made entirely from Limburger cheese. It was famous throughout Wisconsin.
When the wind is right, it makes a pretty strong impression on Minnesota, North Dakota, too.
Folks came from miles to see this cheesy work of art, always standing carefully to windward of it.
This way, folks. The wind today is from the northwest.
How come you carry an oxygen mask, Fillmore?
Sometimes the wind shifts sudden-like.
Well, I should think a 50-foot statue made of Limburger cheese had enough protection without a guard.
It does really, Waldo. My main job is to catch the little birds that fly over it by mistake.
Well, since Fillmore has a responsible position with the government, I can return to my research.
Research?
Yes, into the laws of probability.
Guess the number of pinto beans in this mason jar and win a prize. What's the prize?
A mason jar full of pinto beans.
During the foregoing airy persiflage, Fillmore had been statue-watching, unaware that a couple of sinister types were observing his every move.
Hey, there's a guard on duty.
That worries you?
That worries me.
Look at him closer.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
You're right. There's nothing to worry about.
I say, my good man.
That's fair.
Oh,
I say, my bear man, do you have the time?
I got all arranged.
I mean, what time is it?
I don't have a watch.
I know, but how about running down and checking the clock on the city hall?
Yeah, good idea.
Thanks a mill.
Service to the public is our second motto.
What's your first motto?
If the wind shifts, hold your breath.
Well, he's gone. Let's get to work.
And, donning some efficient gas masks, the two mysterious strangers hauled out some heavy equipment and began lifting the statue of Oswald Clabber. Well, what's all this about? We'll find out in our next episode, Out on a Limburger, or Cheese-It, the Cops. Well, as you remember, in our last episode, Filmore the Bear actually got a job and went to work.
Oh, come on, Waldo. It's only part-time work.
I don't know what it is about that word, Fillmore.
Filmore's job was to guard the 100-foot statue of Colonel Oswald Clabber in the Foggy Bog Public Park. It was a job not without its dangers, for that was the only statue in the world made of Limburger cheese.
Yeah, it's perfectly safe unless I inhale.
But wouldn't you know it? On Filmore's first day at work, somebody asked him a favor.
Would you mind running down to the city hall and seeing what time it is?
Why don't you look at your watch?
The light's bad here.
That figures.
Careful or that thing will fall on you. And what a terrible way to die.
Let's see. The big hand is on 4, and the little hand is on...
Fillmore, you better get back to the park.
But Hoppity's advice was a little late, for when they returned to the park...
Cry, look at that.
At what?
At nothing.
I got better things to do than standing around looking at nothing, Hoppity. I'm a statue guard.
Yeah, and that nothing is a statue you were supposed to be guarding.
Uh-oh.
Somebody swiped our statue of Oswald Clabber.
Who could have did it?
I don't know, but I know who's gonna get blamed for it.
They wouldn't blame me for that.
Oh, yes, they would.
Oh, no, they wouldn't.
Oh, yes, we would.
Now, just a moment, gentlemen. I'm sure there's a way out of this.
Uncle
Waldo!
Just give me a chance to put on my thinking cap.
That looks just like his regular fedora.
I've got it! Mr. Mayor, will you agree not to prosecute Fillmore if he makes restitution?
Make it? I can't even pronounce it.
He means you'll get the statue back.
I will.
If what is more, for a small reward, I will personally guarantee to apprehend the miscreants.
Yes, and we'll catch the guys that done it, too.
Very well, Wigglesworth. We will give you 1 week. If the statue isn't back and the thieves aren't in jail, you will be.
Never fear. Let's take it on the heel and toe.
How are we going to catch them crooks, Waldo?
Who's going to catch any crooks? I was just stalling for time. We're going to take a little vacation. Get it?
Uncle Waldo. Uncle Waldo.
Oh, stop looking at me with those honest, trusting blue eyes, Hoppity.
Uncle Waldo.
All right. We'll catch them.
Uncle Waldo.
Gee, Hoppity, that was wonderful, the way you done that.
Now, obviously, this is the work of a gang.
Yeah, one man couldn't lift 2 tons of Limburger cheese.
He'd have to be stronger than a cheese.
I wonder if the same gang has stolen anything else.
Funny Hoppity should say that, for at that moment in Paris, France...
And from here, mesdames et messieurs, we have a magnificent view of that famous Parisian landmark, the Eiffel Tower. Voila!
What voila? There's nothing.
Sacre, we've been robbed.
And in London, England...
Look at this, Carruthers.
What is it, Prime Minister?
Here's a picture I had taken outside of Parliament last year. Here's one I had taken the other day. Notice anything different?
You've put on a bit of weight, Prime Minister.
No, confound it. The clock tower is missing. Big Ben has been stolen.
Big Ben, an English landmark. That's terrible, awful, a national calamity.
Yes. Put on weight, you think?
Well, can all of these robberies of famous monuments and landmarks be part of the same great plot? If not, why would we bother to mention them? And what will our friends do about it?
Yeah, what?
Nothing right now.
How come, Uncle Waldo?
The episode is over.
Oh.
Be sure to see our next one, A Corner in Steel or The Big Robber Band. Well, our friends have got themselves involved in a worldwide treasure hunt. Not only did somebody steal the statue of Oswald Clabber that was made out of Limburger cheese from Foggy Bog's public park, but other scoundrels had made off with a host of other national monuments, including the Eiffel Tower in Paris and Big Ben in London.
Whatever shall we do without Big Ben to chime the hours?
We shall muddle through, Carruthers. Bong, 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 bong. Bong, 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 bong. I say there, it's 4 o'clock.
Oh, good show, sir.
But that wasn't all, for back in the United States...
Now, there's something you don't see every day, Chauncey.
What's that, Edgar?
The Washington Monument.
Lots of people see the Washington Monument every day, Edgar.
In Pittsburgh?
Hoppity, we're going to need help to find our statue. I suggest we call Washington.
George, Dinah, or Booker T?
D.C.
But our friends weren't the only ones with that idea.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa is gone.
Maybe it's an inside job.
Effendi, some low camel has stolen the Sphinx of Egypt.
We must find Big Ben.
Our Eiffel Tower.
Our statue made out of Limburger cheese.
Our Sphinx.
So does ours.
Flash, in this drastic emergency, the armed forces have been called out to guard all the remaining national landmarks. The Brandenburg Gate, the pyramids, the Acropolis, the Brooklyn Bridge. Uh-oh. Did somebody already steal the Brooklyn Bridge?
Of course not. It was so.
Who sold it?
I did.
Boris Badenov, you're on the wrong program.
If there's a chance to make a dishonest dollar, who cares?
Uncle Waldo, with all those things stolen, how are we going to trace a itty-bitty thing like a 100-foot statue of Limburger cheese?
We'll just have to keep our eyes and ears open.
How about our noses?
Hey, that's it, Fillmore, you've hit it.
Did I bust it?
You're right, Hoppity. The nose knows. We'll track our statue by its odor.
And our friends were soon following a team of specially trained Wisconsin cheesehounds through the trackless wastes of Kenosha, clear to the far uncharted reaches of Kalamazoo.
I think we're getting close, Uncle Waldo.
Why, Hoppity?
Look.
Yes, the keen-nosed hounds had toppled over just in front of a gate in a high wall.
How do we get inside?
There's a sign here that says, visitors press button.
I'll do it, Pensdorp, if you don't mind. The situation may require some finesse.
Poor Waldo. He's got lots of finesse for a glass jaw.
We gotta find out what's on the other side of that wall.
We will, Hoppity.
Don't push that button again.
Don't worry, Hoppity. Missed me.
Well, I guess it's up to me. Missed me. Missed me. Oh, you got me.
But Hoppity's hot foot was a boon in disguise. For the more he hopped up and down, the higher he got, till finally...
Hey, I can see. Over the wall.
What's there, Hoppity?
Wow. Everything.
Hoppity was right. For there, gathered together in one place, were all of the stolen national monuments, including the Limburger statue of Colonel Clabber. But while Hoppity was looking at all that, somebody was looking at all him. Who is this strange old man? And what is that sinister-looking gadget he's aiming at our hero? And if you aren't worried about these problems, don't you think the statue of Oswald Clabber has been standing in the heat a little long? Watch for our next episode, A Place in the Sun, or That's Clabber All Over.
Boris Badenov appeared on this program courtesy of Rat Fink Productions.
They're found! Hooray! They're found! Our heroes, bless them, finally found all the missing national monuments, even the Limburger statue of Colonel Oswald Clabber. Hidden on a vast estate in the untracked wilds of Kalamazoo, they were spotted by keen-eyed Hoppity Hooper. Unfortunately, he was not only the spotter, but the spottee. The machine acted like a giant vacuum cleaner. It sucked in birds, bushes, garden furniture, and eventually, Hoppity Hooper himself.
Did you see that?
I wished I hadn't.
Something just reached out and got our little pal. We've got to get through that wall. Come on. Once more under the breach, dear friends, once more. Or close the wall up.
No!
Meanwhile,
I know you're in there somewhere.
What happened?
I just used my super-duper scooper on you.
Hey, are you the one who's behind stealing all the national monuments all over the world?
That's right, Sonny. Cyrus Flugelhorn at your service.
Not Cyrus Flugelhorn, the millionaire miser.
Oh, you guessed.
But you're rich. How come you stole all those things?
'Cause nobody would sell them to me, and I wanted to see them.
Well, cry-eye, why didn't you just go see them?
'Cause I can't travel, I get seasick.
Why not fly?
I get plane sick.
Train?
I get sick on roller skates. I even get sick talking about traveling.
Stand back there. Lay on, McDuff.
Hey, name is Filmore.
There you are, Hoppity.
All right, get out of here, you creep.
Fillmore, pick up that fellow and hit that other fellow with him.
Okay, Waldo.
Now you, stand away from Hoppity, or I shall show you what stuff we Wigglesworths are made of.
Well, what are you made of?
A brag, a groan, and a tank of air.
Listen, fellas, Mr. Flugelhorn here has a problem.
He's got a problem. If we don't get our Limburger statue back to Foggy Bog, then we'll spend the next 4 episodes in the Hoosgow.
Oh, well, go ahead and take it. I seen it already anyway. Besides, I need the room.
How come?
See? They're moving in the George Washington Bridge.
You already have the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, and I didn't want to break up a set.
well, to make a long story interminable, our heroes crated up their Limburger statue of Colonel Clabber and returned it to Foggy Bog. But when the statue was unveiled...
Look at that.
It's Mr. Flugelhorn.
He's out like a light.
The Limburger must have been too much for him.
Get him into the fresh air.
Where am I?
You're in Foggy Bog, Wisconsin.
You mean I traveled all the way here?
Yep. Sniffing that cheese knocked you out, and here you are.
Hot ziggies! My problem is solved.
Yes, you won't have to swipe any more tourist attractions.
You can go see them instead.
Just in time, too. I have some fellas out west stealing Mount Whitney.
Okay, boys, put it back.
From that time on, Cyrus Flugelhorn became a world traveler. One sniff of Foggy Bog Limburger, and he was ready to be crated anywhere.
On to the Riviera! Use no hooks.
Well, sir, the statue of Colonel Clabber was finally back in place. And it was all due to your hero and mine, Hoppity Hooper, who said these famous words.
Gee, Uncle Waldo, the floor is all covered with sand.
Yes, Hoppity, somebody broke my hourglass.
Then I guess it's the end of the episode.
How come?
Our time is run out.
For more sorry japes of the same vintage, be with us next time for more adventures of Hoppity Hooper. Waldo and Fillmore have been doing quite well selling Wigglesworth Indian Guide Elixir.
Guaranteed to grow hair on a billiard ball. That's him, Clyde. Professor Waldo Wigglesworth. He's the one who ruined my business. How's that, boss? He grew hair on my billiard balls. That's how. And now I have to take them to the barber shop every day for a haircut. Did you ever try to put an 8-ball in the side pocket that's been using greasy kid stuff on its hair?
Clem, you know I don't play pool.
Come on, man, let's get him. I'll teach him to grow hair on billiard balls.
Uh-oh, Fillmore, like a big breeze, we must gather our forces and prepare to blow.
After them, varmints!
I don't understand why they're so upset. My elixir lived up to the guarantee.
Professor, did you ever try to put an 8-ball in the side pocket using a ball with greasy kid stuff on its hair?
Yeah, that was close.
But just then,
Fillmore, I think we are finally safe, thanks to my Wigglesworth Indian Guide Elixir.
Yeah, gee, Professor. Boy, that was a close one. Good news, Professor. I think they're gone.
Of all the stupid, moronic, imbecilic things to do, Fillmore, you and that brainless bugle are a couple of looby, noddy, dumb, noddy, tommy, noddy, noodle-foozle nincompoops.
Now, just a minute there.
Blockhead, wooden-head, bonehead.
Now, just a minute, Professor.
Scatterbrain, rattlebrain, featherbrain, giddy-brain, nuts.
Now you've gone too far. I may be all them other things, but I ain't no nut.
You are a nut, Fillmore. You're a Filbert Fillmore nut. You are a nut in spades.
That does it, Waldo. Me and my bugle are going. And good luck to you and your harebrained schemes.
Hi, Professor. Where's Fillmore?
Gone forever, Hoppity, and good riddance. Him and that stupid bugle.
You mean that you two have split up?
Split? Oh, yes, Fillmore split.
But, Professor, you and Fillmore are like ham and eggs,
Arms and legs,
shoes and socks,
bagels and locks,
star and twinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. I know, Hoppity, and everything would have been all right except for one thing.
What's that, Waldo?
I can't stand them.
meanwhile, Fillmore decided to take an eastbound freight out of town. But due to a slight miscalculation in train schedules, he was on his way to the next town on foot.
Holy smokes, it's the fuzz.
Little knowing behind the next signboard were two notorious gangsters named COSTRA and NOSTRA.
What is that, Nostra?
That's a big, hairy guy playing a bugle, COSTRA.
You're putting me on, right?
No, he's sitting there blowing this here bugle.
Now, look. I know a bugle. If there's one thing I know, it's a bugle. I was in the army, see? And a bugle goes... And that ain't no bugle.
That's a bugle, all right. Say, he's just the guy we're looking for our next caper. Hey, big hairy fella, how'd you like to join up with us?
What do I have to do?
All you gotta do is just blow your bugle.
Just blow my bugle?
Just blow your bugle.
Do I get a coffee break?
What Fillmore didn't know was that the notorious COSTRA NOSTRA brothers were planning to spirit away the son of multimillionaire Faubus Flytrap, the insecticide king, whose motto, "A little dab'll kill ya," was known the world over. Just how they are planning to use Fillmore, I don't quite know.
I don't quite know either.
Well, watch the next episode then, stupid.
Okay.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, do tune in to the next episode. The Icebox Caper, or Fillmore Blows It Cool. In our last episode, Waldo and Fillmore had split up. Waldo going his way and Fillmore going his way. But it so happened that as Fillmore was leaving town, he ran into a pair of notorious crooks named COSTRA and NOSTRA.
That's us. Say, big hairy fella, how would you like to join up with us?
What do I have to do?
All you gotta do is blow your bugle.
At last. Music lovers.
What Fillmore didn't know was that the COSTRA NOSTRA brothers were planning on stealing the son of millionaire Faubus Flytrap and holding him for ransom.
Pardon me for seeming stupid, but just how are we going to use a bugle-blowing bear in this caper?
Look, every day Flytrap takes the kid and his baby buggy into the park, right?
Except when it rains, right.
Well, a bugle-blowing bear's quite a novelty. I mean, how many times you been in a park and seen a bugle-blowing bear? I mean, it's downright uncommon.
But he plays so downright bad.
That don't matter. Nobody's expecting chopin out of a stupid bear.
But I still don't see.
When he starts blowing his stupid bugle, all the people in the stupid park are going to flock around him. Faubus Flytrap Jr. will be left unguarded. Then we snake him and we nab him.
Meanwhile, Waldo had a change of heart and realized that he had been harsh to Fillmore. Both he and Hoppity set out to find him.
What made me say the things I did, Hoppity? How could I do it?
It was probably anger at the spur of the moment.
No, it was anger at his bugle. You know what I called him? I called him a noodle foozle nincompoop.
Well, that was rather strong.
We must find him, Hoppity, so that I can beg his forgiveness.
It wasn't going to be as easy as Waldo thought to track down Fillmore, because he hadn't reckoned on such obstacles as Susan Swivel Hips.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter, Waldo?
We gotta go back. That's what's the matter.
But I thought you wanted to find Fillmore and apologize.
Of course I want to find Fillmore and apologize, but don't you see, Susan, if she catches me, I'm a goner. I'll be married so fast it'll make your head spin.
But Waldo, think of something. Use your brain.
Hoppity, my boy, I've got it! Subterfuge!
Subterfuge?
We'll disguise ourselves.
Oh. Oh, may I see the baby?
Oh, well, certainly, my dear.
Coochie, coochie, coo.
Did-dip, did-dip.
What did he say?
He has a bad cold.
We ought to keep him bundled up, honey. He's got enough bad news going for him without getting pneumonia.
Oh, yes. Now, if you'll excuse us.
Camphorated oil.
What?
Rub his chest with camphorated oil. I just happen to have some here.
Madam, that really won't be necessary. Oh, dear.
Now, big hairy fella, you see by this map here, you are to stand at this here X. And when I give the signal, you start to blow your bugle.
I stand on this X and blow my bugle.
And you blow that there bugle like you never blown it before.
I stand on that X and I blow that there bugle like I've never blown it before.
Nostra, are you sure this is going to work?
Madam, I cannot permit you to rub this child with camphorated oil.
But it'll do him a world of good.
Get after him.
All right, now everybody synchronize their watches.
But I ain't got no watch.
Don't you worry about a watch. Just blow your bugle.
All right.
Not now. I'll tell you when. All right, men, let's go.
My baby!
And at that very moment, in accord with the diabolical plan of the COSTRA NOSTRA brothers, Faubus Flytrap left for the park with Faubus Flytrap Jr.
That's my boy.
Will the COSTRA NOSTRA brothers get away with their scheme? Will Waldo and Susan save Hoppity before the light changes? See our next episode. A lark in the park, or will the real Faubus Flytrap please stand up? last episode, the notorious COSTRA NOSTRA brothers had decided to use Fillmore in their diabolical plot to steal the Faubus flytrap baby. All right, everybody synchronize their watches.
I ain't got no watch.
Don't worry about the watch, just blow your bugle.
All right.
Not now, I'll tell you when. All right, men, let's go. And at that very moment, as he did every day, Faubus Flytrap left for the park with Faubus Flytrap Jr. Meanwhile, Waldo and Hoppity, in order to escape from Susan Swivelhips, had disguised themselves. However, the baby got away from them and...
My goodness, what in the world is that? By George, it's a bugle-playing bear.
Okay, now's the time. Let's go. Now, on a caper like this, split-second timing is everything.
Hey, fellas, aren't you going to stay and listen to my encore?
Look, Fillmore, it's split time. Why don't you get lost?
Now, just a minute. Are you guys trying to get rid of me?
Yeah, sweetie. All we want you to do is blow.
All right. For a minute there, I thought you were trying to get rid of me.
Will you get rid of that creep?
Creep?
Did you think I said creep? What I said was bleep. I like the way you make that bleep with your bugle.
Yeah, well, what's that in the blanket?
Well, as a matter of fact, nothing. COSTRA always carries that blanket ever since childhood. You see, he's very insecure.
Yeah. It's a substitute for when I used to suck my thumb, see?
There's something moving around in that blanket.
Well, that's me, Fillmore. See? Do-do-do-do-do. Ma-ma-ma-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
COSTRA, you almost blew a whole kidnapping deal with your stupid dance. Oops.
Uh-huh. I knew you two was up to no good. And here all the time, I thought you liked my bugle playing.
All right, everybody back up against that fence. Hurry up. Put your hands up. Not you, stupid. You're one of us.
Oh, that's right. I'm one of them. Us. Get those hands up.
Oh, shut up and see if Faubus Flytrap Jr.'s all right.
He's all right, but man, he sure is ugly. This is about the ugliest baby I've ever seen.
Look, we didn't kidnap him to enter him in a beauty contest. Bring him over here. Oh, COSTRA. You want to know why the Faubus Flytrap baby is so ugly? You want to know that, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to know that, Nostra.
Because what you swiped is not the Faubus Flytrap baby. What you swiped is a big frog.
Impossible. What would a frog be doing in a baby carriage?
How do I know? All I know is...
Hoppity!
Fillmore!
Oh, that figures. These two know each other. Why not? A bugle-blowing bear and a frog dressed up like a baby? Get over against that fence, frog, and not another croak on you. Meanwhile, Waldo and Susan finally arrived at the park.
Oh, thank goodness he's safe. After a harrowing experience like that, it's a wonder his hair hasn't turned gray.
Big Bug! Kill Big Bug!
Well, his hair may not have turned gray, but he certainly does look different.
And he looks different because this baby is not Hoppity Hooper.
What happened to your voice, dear?
Please? Oh, now let me explain, Susan.
Waldo!
What are we going to do with him, boss?
Get rid of him, that's what we're gonna do. Because I got a feeling this frog has a big mouth.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Look at that, Susan. Hoppity and Fillmore are in real trouble.
Well, don't just stand there. Go and save them.
I cannot go and save them, Susan.
Why not, Waldo?
Because you are standing on my skirt.
Will Susan and Waldo arrive in time? Tune in to our next episode. Hoppity Hooper's blooper, or COSTRA NOSTRA does the bossa nova. you will remember in our last episode, Waldo and Hoppity disguised themselves to elude Susan Swivelhips. And due to a mix-up in the park, the COSTRA NOSTRA brothers kidnapped Hoppity instead of Falbus Flytrap Jr.
COSTRA, you want to know why the Falbus Flytrap baby is so ugly? You want to know that, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to know that, Nostra.
Because what you kidnapped is not the Falbus Flytrap baby. What you kidnapped is a big fraud.
Of course, at a time like this, you'd expect Fillmore to come to the rescue. Unfortunately, he was already being held at bay.
They're also held up against this fence.
What are we going to do with them, boss?
Get rid of him, that's what we're gonna do. 'Cause I got a feeling this frog has a big mouth.
What Nostra did not know was that at that moment, Waldo had a sudden thought.
Susan, we must save Hoppity. How are we going to get rid of him, Nostra?
We'll make it look like an accident. See that cliff over there? Well...
Hey, that was pretty slick, Nostra. We sure got rid of them. Now, let's get out of here.
No, I want to wait for the zonk.
The zonk?
Yeah, the zonk when they hit the bottom.
Did you hear that, Fillmore? They're waiting for us to go zonk. Make a zonk for the people, Fillmore.
They're all right, Hoppity.
There. Now we can leave.
That was a zonk?
Well, it'll have to do. Let's go.
All right, get those hands up.
Uh-oh. It's the fuzz.
Hey, what do you take us for, amateurs? That's nothing but a cane.
Just a cane, eh? Well, watch this.
How did you do that, Susan?
All right, get those hands up.
There isn't even a trigger.
Will you stop playing with that stupid cane? We are trying to find Hoppity and Fillmore.
That's odd. I've had this cane for 20 years. I've never done that before. Oh, quite right, my dear. What have you two done with Hoppity and Fenswick?
Never heard of him. Have you heard of him, COSTRA?
Do you have to blow that confounded bugle, Fillmore? Can't you see that I'm in the midst of interrogating these cutthroats? Now, where was I? I'm not going to tell you again, Fillmore, to stop playing that stupid bugle.
Waldo, Fillmore isn't here. We are trying to find Fillmore.
You mean I'm imagining I'm hearing Fillmore play the bugle?
No, it seems to be coming from over there.
Oh, there you are, Wilberforce. Here, grab my cane.
Now we're in a fine mess.
Never fear. Susan Swivelhips won't let us down.
There. Now let's beat it, COSTRA. COSTRA? COSTRA?
Waldo, this is terrible.
I told you, Hoppity, Susan is our only hope.
Susan is our only hope, and you tied her to a tree. Right, Nostra?
What are we going to do now?
At a time like this, a moment of great stress, it's time to use a little brain power. Hoppity, what is it that you Hoopers do so well?
Well,
You jump! That's what you do now, Hoppity. When I count 3, I want you to jump.
But Waldo, it's 5,000 feet to the bottom of this cliff.
I don't want you to jump down. I want you to jump up.
So Hoppity, perching on the top of Fillmore's shoulders, jumped to the top of the cliff, releasing Susan. Both of them pulled the others up and out of danger.
The COSTRA NOSTRA brothers. Caught you at last.
They're safe at last.
Listen, Waldo, baby. He's playing our song.
There are some things that are more than a grown man can stand.
Don't fail to tune in next time for the further adventures of Hoppity Hooper. Well, before we begin our story, let's look at our cast of characters, shall we? First, here's Hoppity Hooper, our hero.
Hiya, hero worshippers!
Next in line is Fillmore, the strongest bear in captivity.
Captivity, Wisconsin, that is.
And last but not least, here's Waldo Wigglesworth. He, too, is famous.
True, true.
Waldo's well-known features look down from the walls of post offices and police stations all over the country.
That's him, officer. That's the one. I'd know that foxy look anywhere.
After him!
Well, lads, here we go again. Into the truck.
They're getting on us, Waldo.
Quick, Casimir, get the secret weapon.
That's a secret weapon?
It's an inflatable Waldo.
An inflatable Waldo?
Yeah, a balloon shaped just like Waldo.
A balloon shape?
Will you stop repeating the dialogue and pull the lever?
Okay.
Quick, toss it out.
There he is, standing by the side of the road.
Careful, boys. He's tricky.
He looks dizzy, Captain.
He did it that, for a strong breeze began to blow the Waldo balloon along the road.
He's making a run for it.
Stop! Stop or I'll shoot! I only tried to wing him.
He got him on the rise, Chief.
I always heard Wigglesworth was full of hot air, but this is ridiculous.
Meanwhile, our friends, safe at last, had stopped to let their truck cool off.
Gee, Uncle Waldo, why was that man so mad at you?
Just because I sold him 1,000 gallons of pure, sparkling well water.
Well, what's wrong with that?
It was supposed to be an oil well.
Oh.
Just a slight misunderstanding, Hoppity. Oh, how long must I be persecuted by the millions of the law?
Well, as the fellow says, if you can't lick 'em, join 'em.
What was that?
I said if you can't lick 'em, join 'em.
What does that mean, Hoppity?
I don't know, Fillmore. It's just what the fellow says.
But of course, Hoppity, that's the way to keep on the right side of the law. We'll become detectives ourselves.
You mean like on television?
Exactly, we'll be private eyes.
I can't be a private eye, Waldo.
How come?
I got 2 stripes. I gotta be a corporal eye.
But Waldo insisted, and in just a few days' time, their medicine show truck had been turned into a traveling detective agency.
The I Spy Detective Agency. Waldo Wigglesworth, Chief Snoop.
And here comes our first client. Get ready, Alfredo. Welcome, sir. What can we do for you?
I just lost my bowling ball. Can you find it?
Lost articles? Kindly step into our Swami's parlor.
Swami?
Yeah, that's me.
The Swami is in a trance.
I could tell.
Swami, do you see this gentleman's lost bowling ball?
Yes, yes. I see it before me now.
You do? Where is it?
Right here.
Oh, my Denver, that's remarkable.
Here, this is for finding it so quickly.
Oh, thank you.
And this is for taking it in the first place.
Confound it, Beaufort, I told you to pick up a crystal ball.
The crystal balls are harder to pick up, Waldo.
You mean they're scarce?
No, I mean they don't have them little holes in them for your fingers.
Hey, look, here comes another customer.
But this customer's request wasn't going to be as easy to fill as the first.
Is this the I Spy Detective Agency?
At your service, sir. I spy. We never sleep.
We may doze off from time to time, but...
My name is Badly Bent, with a hyphen.
Gee, that's too bad.
And I want you to find the lost Duchess of Dashit Hall.
The lost Duchess of Dashit Hall?
You lost a duchess?
Seems a bit careless somehow.
But at that moment, a sinister figure outside lobbed a large, round object at the window. An object with a fuse attached to it. And it isn't a crystal ball or a bowling ball either. Don't miss our next episode, The Lowdown on the Blow-Up, or Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. Well, at Hoppity's suggestion, Waldo has joined the forces of law and order by organizing the I Spy Detective Agency. And already they've got a big case.
I want you chaps to find the lost Duchess of Dashet Hall.
Duchesses are our specialty.
They are?
But at that moment, a mysterious figure tossed a large bomb with a sputtering fuse right at the window of the truck.
No, let's get out of here.
No, we mustn't panic. Let's remain calm.
But.
Now, the thing to do with bombs is to put them into a bucket of water, right?
Right you are, old bean.
Quick, Desmond, get a bucket.
Okay, Waldo. Let's see, now where did I put that bucket?
Hurry, Filmore!
Let's see, is it in here? No, that's the ironing board.
We gotta put out the fuse. Couldn't we use something besides a bucket?
It really isn't correct, old boy.
Here's the bucket.
Now fill it with water.
Waldo, you know we don't have running water in the truck.
There's a little stream just down the hill.
Right.
You see, Hoppity, you've got to be calm about these things.
But that fuse is getting mighty short.
Here you are, Waldo.
Wait a minute, that bucket's empty.
I wonder why.
I think this is why.
No bottom.
Oh, my goodness. Now what?
Isn't that infuriating? Things like this never happened to James Bond.
Hey, I've got an idea.
Yes?
Why don't we just do this?
That's a good idea. Let's do that.
He's already done it, Egbert.
Oh, yeah.
Now, why would anybody want to toss a bomb into here?
Well, it certainly helped the plot.
And besides that...
But who did it?
Well, gentlemen, you certainly have a choice. These criminals are all after the missing Duchess. They were just trying to frighten you off the case.
They did a pretty good job, too.
Come on, Fillmore, be a man.
Actually, I'm more of a bear.
All right, now tell us about the Duchess. How tall is she?
She's 12 feet tall.
12 feet tall?
Gee, that's twice as tall as Fillmore.
And I'm big for my age.
Well, that reminds me. How old is she?
120.
Well, I'll say this. She'll certainly stand out in a crowd.
But while Waldo was taking notes, a short distance away, a mean-looking band of cutthroats and thugs were listening to the leader of their gang, Lime Juice Louie.
Well, it seems that Froggy type and his friends are out to find the lost Duchess. All those in favor of chastising him say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Why do you vote no, Muggsy?
On account I don't know what chastising means.
Well, chastising means... and this. And this. Now, do you know what chastising means?
I think I get the general idea.
Now, let's see if I've got the picture. The Duchess is 12 feet tall, 120 years old, and was last seen wearing a hoop skirt and a powdered wig.
What was she doing in America, Mr. Badley Bent?
She was on loan from Great Britain.
What?
It's simple, Hoppity. We send them our old missiles, and they send us their old Duchesses.
Oh.
So our boys set out to find the lost Duchess of Dashet Hall. First, they searched all the beauty parlors. They checked all the ladies' Turkish baths. They even kept track of all the bargain sales.
I tell you, I saw this hat first.
No, you didn't, dearie. I saw it first.
Ladies, I was wearing it when I came in.
You came out of it.
Well, Mr. Badly Bent, we tried anyway.
Gee, we should have been able to spot a 120-year-old lady who was 12 feet tall.
Yeah, with a hoop skirt and a powdered wig.
And don't forget the big gold frame.
What gold frame?
The frame around the picture.
Wait a minute. You mean the lost Duchess of Dashet Hall is a picture?
Well, she certainly is. And there she goes now. She's being spirited away by Lime Juice Louie and his gang.
Perhaps he's right. We'll find out next time in Portrait of a Thief or Lime Juice Louie Gets Framed. In our last episode, we finally met the lost Duchess of Dashet Hall. She was indeed 12 feet tall, 120 years old, and surrounded by a solid gold frame. For the lost Duchess was really an enormous full-length oil painting worth a fortune.
And right now, she's in possession of Lime Juice Louie and his band of cutthroats.
That's us.
Heavens, that was Lime Juice Louie and his band of cutthroats.
I heard the man.
But perhaps the audience didn't.
Well, let's get after them.
The charge!
Hey, Louie, what's the idea of driving right by those guys? Now they're chasing us.
Correct. They're chasing us right into a trap.
What kind of trap, boss?
Observe closely.
Oh, frip-frap, a detour.
Well, we can't stop now. Drive on, Stanislaus.
My name is...
Well, ta-ta, ducks.
Yeah. We'll see you later, fellas.
Oh, I'm afraid not, Muggsy.
How come?
Take a deco at that.
Oh, horrors. Our friends have been decoyed into driving onto a set of railroad tracks.
Now, let's see. This detour ought to take us by way of Mont Chunk and Kennebunkport.
It's sure a smooth road for a detour, Waldo.
What was that?
Just a grade crossing. A grade crossing?
Yike, we're on the railroad track.
Quick, turn the wheel, Eustace.
I can't, Waldo. We fit too tight.
Gee, what do we do if a train comes along?
We better decide in a hurry, chaps. Here comes one now.
Step on it, Bunthorn.
The name is Fillmore.
It's going to be mud if you don't beat that train. Go!
And Fillmore pushed the gas pedal to the floorboard. Slowly, the truck pulled ahead of the speeding train.
Something you don't see every day, Chauncey.
What's that, Edgar?
A truck on a railroad track being chased by a train?
Oh, I don't know, Edgar. Happens all the time on the Bullwinkle show.
True.
We're winning, Uncle Waldo. We're pulling ahead of the train.
But just then...
Oh, what is it, Fillmore?
I don't know, Professor.
I don't look. We're running out of gas.
And the train's gaining on us.
Well, there's only one thing to do. I want to jump for it.
And leave us to our fate? What kind of a hero are you?
A smart one. You see that switch up ahead there?
Yeah?
I'm going to jump for it.
What have you missed?
You'll just have to change the name of this program to the Waldo Wigglesworth Show.
Good luck, Hoppity.
The Waldo Wigglesworth Show.
Hoppity climbed out onto the running board, crouched, judged the distance, and at precisely the right instant... Yes, the train was switched onto another track and roared out of sight while Waldo's truck coasted safely to a stop.
Everybody okay?
Hoppity, my lad! You've saved our lives! You're a hero! Give him a fanfare, Beauregard!
Shucks, that was nothing.
Well, only one thing that puzzles me, though.
What's that?
I wonder where that train is going to wind up.
I'll tell you where. Right in the middle of another program entirely.
Well, all's well and as well, I guess.
What do you mean, end? You haven't found the lost Duchess yet.
Gee, I almost forgot.
And here's your chance, gentlemen, for here she comes now.
Yes, far down the road, Lime Juice Louie's car was hurtling toward them.
Gee, they'll have to go under that bridge, Uncle Waldo.
Hoppity, are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
I think so.
No, Hoppity, it's too dangerous. I forbid it. I put my foot down. What's that for?
You put your foot down in the wrong place.
Well, what dangerous scheme does our hero have in mind? We'll find out next time in What's Cooking or Hoppity's Plots and Plans. boys are hot on the trail of the lost Duchess of Dashet Hall, a valuable painting stolen by Lime Juice Louie and his gang. Now, Louie's car is approaching an overpass on which our friends are waiting.
No, I won't let you do it, Hoppity.
Do what, Waldo?
When that car goes under the bridge, I'm gonna swing down and grab the painting.
But that's dangerous.
But we'll save the painting.
It's foolhardy.
We're out with those crooks.
It's out of the question.
We'll get a reward.
Let's go.
So, when Louie's car went under the bridge...
Hey, what happened?
We've been on, Froggle, that's what.
You did it, Hoppity.
Okay, fellas, pull me up.
But the painting's too heavy. We can't lift you both up.
Drop it, Hoppity.
No, sir. Now that we've got it, we're not gonna let go of it.
Maybe Mr. Badly Bent could help us, Egbert.
Yeah, I'll go ask him.
Ouch!
Oh, Mr. Badly Bent.
Now go!
What is it, Fillmore?
Never mind.
Meanwhile, the gang had turned their car around and were heading toward our hero.
Hey, they ain't here.
True, the only person near the bridge was a sign painter who was lettering a billboard.
They must have snuck off on a side road, Louie.
Well, on with the chase. Yoicks, tally-o, and all that rot.
Did it work, Hoppity?
Like a charm, Uncle Waldo.
Quick, into the truck. And on to Dashet Hall.
And a short time later, our friends entered Dashet Hall, ancestral home of the Earl of Cloves.
There you are, sir. The lost Duchess returns.
I say, chaps, that's splendid. Now, let me just get rid of that dreadful painting.
You didn't want the picture?
Of course not, little green one. I wanted the frame. It's solid gold, you know.
Oh, boy. What about the reward?
Oh, yes, of course. Tell you what, you can have the picture.
Thanks for nothing.
He ain't exactly a heavy tipper, is he?
Well, anyway, we got this keen big picture.
Oi, chaps. I'm from the Manchester Guardian. Like to take your picture for the morning edition.
Why, certainly, young man. The name is Wigglesworth, W-I-G.
Doesn't he sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I think it's really Alfred Hitchcock.
No, but I've heard that voice somewhere.
Now, I'd like you to pose with your hands up in the air, please.
Our hands in the air? Why?
This is why.
It's Lime Juice Louie.
What do you say, Hoppity? Shall we jump him?
No, I think we ought to put our hands in the air.
He can't get all of us.
Hoppity's right, Fillmore. Put your hands up.
Well, that takes care of Lime Juice Louie.
It also takes care of the lost Duchess. So what are we going to do with a painting with a big hole in it?
Leave it to Uncle Waldo, I guess.
Hmm?
Look.
Yes, Waldo was getting an idea. And so now, if you happen to be in Foggy Bog, Wisconsin, any Saturday afternoon, drop by the fairgrounds and you'll hear...
Step right up, folks. 3 sponges for a dime. Dunk the Duchess and win a prize. Right this way.
Oh. Oh. Oh, this is most humiliating, Hoppity.
You mean getting hit with sponges, Louie?
No. Working at an honest job. It just ain't my nature.
And as the sun sinks slowly behind our soggy scenery, we take leave of our friends once more. With saddened hearts and tear-filled eyes, we...
Now, wait a minute. We're coming back again with another story.
Sure, we'll be back before you can say toy boat 3 times real fast.
Toy boat,
Well, watch for the further adventures of Hoppity Hooper. Toy boat, tordo boy.
Toy
boy,
Toy boy.